Okay, so very welcome everyone. I'm Tash. Welcome or welcome back. We're going to be doing a short 30-minute kind of lunchtime yoga stretch session. Great for the times that you just need to slot in a little bit of mindfulness and gentle stretches in between your work times. So we're going to start in a comfortable child's pose. So take the knees as wide as feels comfortable for you. You can bring the toes to touch at the back of the mat, and then perhaps you bring the hands forward and the forehead descends down towards the earth. Maybe you're placing a block underneath the forehead. If there's any other position that feels comfortable for you to begin in, then please feel free to make your way there. Otherwise, just allowing the elbows and the wrists and the shoulders to rest in child's pose. Take a moment to enter into the present moment. So you've already made your way here onto your mat. You've created this space for yourself. So really allowing yourself permission to be here. We're going to take a nice slow breath in through your nose. And then maybe a sigh out through your mouth. Let's take that for one more breath in. And then a slow exhale, maybe through the mouth. And then we'll start to move into a coherent breathing rhythm, where you're going to be inhaling for the count of 6, and then exhaling for the same count of 6. If that feels too much for your breath capacity at the moment, you can make that count a little shorter. Inhaling. And exhaling. Breathing in. And breathing out. And we're going to keep this rhythm flowing as we move through a gentle asana practice today. So let's take one more cycle of breath. In for 6. And then out for 6. And then when you feel ready, we're going to start to walk the hands back towards the knees, and either sitting back towards your heels. Sometimes that doesn't feel quite comfortable for me, so I quite like to slide a cushion or a block in between the legs and then sit back towards the block. Have a nice elongated spine. Just relax the shoulders away from the ears, so you're creating a little bit of space between the ears and the shoulders. Slight tuck of the chin to get that length flowing through the back of the neck. I'm going to take a breath in for 6. And then exhale for 6. And we're going to start to flow with this rhythm of breathing. So as we inhale, going to lift up into a kneeling position. At the same time, reach the arms forwards and all the way up towards the ceiling. Maybe the palms join. Exhale, sit back towards your heels or the block. Draw the hands down through the midline of the body, thumbs to heart center. We'll keep that going with your breath. So synchronizing movement to breath. Inhaling, lifting the hips off the heels, arms reach up. Exhaling, descending down, thumbs to heart center. Let's take that 2 more times. So just kind of flowing with your own rhythm. Starting to awaken parts of the body. See if you can just slow that descent down. Let's take that for one more inhale. Lift and lengthen. And then exhale, come all the way back down. Lovely. Then we're going to release the palms. Bring the brick from underneath your bum and place that at the top of your mat. So you might need that later. And we're going to bring the forearms down just underneath the shoulders. So pressing the forearms down rather than the wrists here, kind of like a tabletop position, but we've got the forearms down. We're going to move into a cat-cow rhythm with the forearms placed on the earth. So inhale to drop the belly button low, lift up through the chest and the tailbone. And then as we exhale, we press down through the forearms to drop the chin towards the chest, tuck the bum under. Keep that going with your breath, breathing in. Radiate the chest forwards as much as you can, opening up through the front body. And then exhale, curl back into safety as you let the head go heavy. Let's take that for 2 more breaths. This time as you exhale, maybe as you round through the spine, you might draw the hips back towards the heels as you let the breath leave the body. Then inhale to snake the spine forwards, back into cat. It's cow, sorry. And then exhale into cat, rounding through the spine, maybe drawing the hips back towards the heels. Lovely. This time a little bit different. As we inhale, we're going to come back up to hands and knees this time. And exhale, find your downward facing dog. So tuck the toes over the knees off the mat, sending the tailbone up towards the ceiling, feeling those lovely stretches through the back of the hamstrings. Say hello to left and right hamstrings. And maybe you're staying here in stillness. You might pedal out through the feet. So bringing the left heel down and lifting the right. And then alternating, bringing the right heel down and lifting the left. Lovely. Let's take that a couple more times, just kind of alternating the pedaling out of the feet. Maybe you shake the head a couple of times, yes and no, to release some tension and tightness from that area. Let's take a nice slow inhale. And a slow exhale here. And as we inhale, we're going to ripple the spine forwards into a high plank position, shoulders over wrists. So body more or less in one straight line. Wrists are roughly underneath the shoulders, press the heels back, draw the belly in, push the ground away, take a breath in. Exhale, lower the knees, untuck the toes. See if you can bend the elbows and they can graze the sides of the rib cage as you bring upper body down. Inhale, point the toes back, hug the elbows in as you lift up into a back bend, melt the shoulders down the back of the body. Exhale, slide the front of the body all the way back down. Let's take that one more time, breathing in, lift and lengthen. Exhaling, draping the spine back down towards the earth. Lovely. And as we inhale, we'll push back through hands and knees. Exhale, let's take another child's pose. Knees can be as wide as feels comfortable for you. Maybe this time you start to stretch out the wrists a little bit so you can lift the wrists and the hands off the ground and just start to circle the wrists in one direction and the other. Forehead can be on the earth, maybe hovering a couple of inches away from the earth. Take a breath in. And a breath out. Lovely. And we're going to rest the arms back down on the earth. As we inhale, come back up to tabletop. And then exhale, start to shift weight into the left leg. Pick up the right leg. And we'll scoot that right foot forwards in between the hands. Maybe we guide it forwards with that right hand. Lovely. If you want something soft underneath that back knee, you can have a blanket or a cushion underneath the back knee. If you've got your bricks, bring the bricks onto its highest setting and just behind the heels or just in line with the heels. So a little bit further back than the feet, the front foot. And as we inhale, we're going to press down through that front foot to reach the arms all the way up and overhead. Low lunge. Take a breath in. Exhale. See if that right hip wants to open up a little bit further as you sink down through the hips, lunging into that front leg, maintaining that length in the spine. Inhale here. And as we exhale, bring the hands on towards the bricks. Start to send the pelvis towards the back of the mat, straighten through the front leg. Maybe those right toes lift up and pull back towards you. Ardha Hanumanasana hamstring stretch. Option to stay here for a couple of breaths, or maybe we flow forwards and backwards a couple of times. So as we inhale, we lunge forwards, arms reach all the way up and overhead, low lunge. Exhale, hands on towards the bricks, straighten through the front leg. You might even take a gentle fold over that front leg as you pull those right toes back towards you. Let's take that 3 more times. I'm going to add in an option here for an extra challenge. If you want to, you use no hands, sweep the arms back, straighten through the front leg, and flex through that right foot. Let's take that 2 more times. So just focus on control rather than speed. Doesn't matter how far forwards you fold, how far that front leg straightens. What does matter is the quality of attention, compassion, and patience that you're giving your body today. Last breath out. Lovely. And as we inhale, come back into a lunge, reach the arms high. Exhale, we're going to bring the hands on towards the bricks, slide the bricks to one side, hands come to frame that front foot. And as we inhale, slide that right knee back underneath that right hip. You've got 2 options here. You can stay in child's pose for a couple of breaths if that's where you want to chill. Maybe you find a downward facing dog and a very slow vinyasa. So lift up into a downward dog if you want to. Press the ground away. Find some softness through the shoulders, softness through the jaw. Take a breath in and a breath out. And as we inhale, maybe we're rippling the spine forwards into a plank position, shoulders over wrists. Exhale, we're lowering with control. Maybe with the knees, perhaps without, keep the elbows tucked in. Inhale, untuck the toes, lift up through the chest, melt the shoulders down the back. Exhaling, draping upper body down, push back through hands and knees and find a child's pose. Take a breath in. Exhale through the mouth. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's return back to that smooth, coherent breathing rhythm. Exhale for 6. Lovely. Then as we inhale, we're going to come all the way back up to hands and knees. And exhale, repeat that sequence on the other side. So shifting weight into your right leg. We're going to bring that left foot forwards. Maybe we guide it forwards with that left hand. Grab your bricks if you want to use your bricks. Bring them underneath. Sorry, not underneath, just beside your ankles. Press down through the bricks first to lift up through the chest. And then we get so strong through that front leg that we reach the arms up and overhead, low lunge. Try and find some softness through the shoulders and the jaw here. Maybe we're lunging a little bit further forwards, finding a little bit more opening through that left hip. Take a breath in. Exhale, hands on towards the bricks. Send the pelvis back, but keep the pelvis quite high as we straighten through that front leg, flex through that left foot, pull left toes back towards you. Option to stay here for a couple of breaths, or maybe we start to lunge forwards and backwards. So inhale to lunge forwards, arms might reach up, optional. You can keep the hands on the bricks if you want. Exhale, hands on towards the bricks. Send the pelvis back, straighten through that front leg. If you want to, you can also use no hands. A little bit more of core work if you don't want to use the hands. Slow the movement down, flex through that front foot, swing the arms back. 2 more breaths. Maybe you're inhaling for the count of 6. Exhaling, it's almost like the arms illustrate the full breath cycle as you reach the arms all the way back. Let's take that for 1 more breath in. And exhale, breath out. Lovely. This time as we inhale, we're going to lunge forwards. Arms reach up and overhead. 1 last low lunge. Exhale, grab your bricks. Slide them to one side. Hands come to frame the front foot. And this time we're going to tuck the back toe, lift the back knee, and step that back foot forwards to meet the left at the front of the mat. You can bring the feet a little bit further back so you're more or less in the middle of the mat. And we're going to stay here in a floppy forward fold just for a moment. Take the feet as wide as feels comfortable for you. Maybe you're swaying the body, upper body from side to side. I quite like to imagine recently that I'm tracing a nice big semicircle around the toes with the fingertips. Some of us might want to cross the arms one way and the other. It'd be quite a nice way to release through the shoulders. Take a breath in and a breath out. If you're crossing the arms one way, you might want to cross the arms the non-habitual way, so you release through the opposite shoulder. Might take a moment just to find out that cross. Lovely. Then we're going to interlace the fingers, bring the palms towards the back of the head. Then inhale, bend the legs. Exhale, press down through the feet, rise up to standing. Roll the spine nice and slow. There's absolutely no rush. Each vertebrae stacks one at a time. And then as you come up to standing, we're going to take the elbows wide. Imagine there's a string attached to your breastbone and it's lifting up towards the ceiling. Maybe you lift the chin slightly as well. Take a breath in and a breath out. Relaxing to the shoulders. One more inhale, radiating the chest forwards and up. And then as we exhale, tuck the chin. We're going to round through the spine. Elbows fall together, chin to chest. Inhale here, more of a kind of rounded cat-like spine. Exhale, let the head get a little bit more heavy. Last breath in. And then exhale, slowly lifting the head, releasing the arms all the way down. Lovely. We're going to move into a little bit of a balance here. I know some people like to move towards a wall or furniture just so they have a little bit of stability to hang on to. Just make sure you're nice and comfortable where you are. Your feet are nice and flat where they are as well, so it's not like a slippery surface. We're going to shift the weight into the right leg and start to draw the left knee in towards the chest. So you might stay here, maybe just a couple of hovers, a couple of seconds, and then releasing the foot down. Maybe you can interlace the fingers around the left knee or the left shin. Draw the left knee in a little bit more as you gain a little bit more length through the spine. Take a breath in and a breath out. Option to stay here. There's also an option to come into a little bit of a twist. So if you're coming into the twist, we're going to leave that right hand on top of the left knee or the left shin. Start to reach the left hand back behind us, extend through that left arm. Perhaps you start to look back at your left hand for a little bit more of a challenge. Take a breath in. Exhale here. You're twisting more towards the upper body, so upper chest. Option to stay here. If you want to try a little bit of hamstring stretch, we're going to grab a hold of the outer edge of the left foot with the right hand and start to extend that left leg forwards. Doesn't have to go completely straight. A few wobbles and shakes, absolutely normal. Inhale here. Exhale like nothing ever happened. We're going to twist back through center, release that left leg down and give it a little shake. Nice. Absolutely fine if you're wobbling and shaking. It's all part of the practice, all part of building muscle memory. So just forget what happened on this side and we'll go the other side. So shifting weight into your left leg this time. You can peel that right foot off the ground. Maybe the heels stay, maybe the ball of the foot stays there for a moment. Perhaps that right knee rises up. You can interlace the fingers around the right knee, right shin. Draw the knee in to open up the hip, lift up through the chest. You might be staying here. This is around the time that I forget to breathe. So just make sure you're still breathing. Take a breath in. Exhale for 6. You might be staying here. Maybe you try that twist. Left hand stays on your right knee. Reach the right arm back behind you. You can stay with the gaze over towards the right, or maybe you start to look back at your right hand. Take an inhale, keep lifting up through the crown of the head, pressing down through all four corners of both feet. Sorry, not both feet, right foot, left foot. And then perhaps you're sliding towards the outer edge of the right foot. Grab a hold with your left hand and start to extend that right leg. Doesn't have to go completely straight. Expanding through all 4 corners of the body, feet, head, hands. Take a breath in. Exhale here. And like nothing ever happened, we're going to untwist, rebend the leg, Release the leg down and give it a little shake. Nice. Take a breath in. Exhale, clear through the mouth. And we're going to slowly make our way down towards the earth. As you do so, you might want to pop on some layers, some socks. And coming down towards the earth, bringing the soles of the feet together and knees apart. Baddha Konasana legs. If you want a little bit more support, you can slide some bricks or some cushions underneath the knees or the thighs. Grab a hold of the ankles. Maybe you interlace the fingers around the toes. Try not to force this hip opening too much. You can take a little bit more of a chill Baddha Konasana by bringing the feet a little bit away from you. Inhale, lifting up through the crown of the head. Exhale, relax the shoulders down the back of the body. Moving into some neck stretches. Inhale, drop the chin down towards the chest. Start to look down at the ground. Exhale, allow the left ear just to rotate over towards the left shoulder. And inhale, draw the chin back through center, back through symmetry. Exhale, right ear towards the right shoulder. Take that a couple more times. So it's almost like you're drawing a nice big semicircle with your chin. It might feel quite nice perhaps to close the eyes. And an option to stay here, or maybe we start to take some full rotations of the head above the shoulders. Lovely. A few clicks here and there is fine. Opening through the throat as we drop the head back. And then dropping the chin down towards the chest. And this doesn't have to look a particular way here. You might find some juicy spots that you want to stay for a couple of breaths. Or maybe you just keep the movement going. One more breath wherever you are. And then drawing the head back through center when you're ready. We're going to inhale, lifting up through the crown of the head, lengthening through the back of the body. Exhale, perhaps you're staying here. Maybe there's a little bit more space to start to bring the chest forwards, almost like you're charging the chest forwards, keeping that length in the spine, and we start to fold forwards into Baddha Konasana. Elbows can rest onto your inner thighs, or they can be hovering in mid-air. Some people like to interlace the fingers around the toes. Lovely. Don't worry too much about bringing the head down. Again, it's not going to change our lives if we bring the head down towards the feet. Just stay wherever feels comfortable and safe in your body. If you want to feel more sensation in the hips, we can press the heels together. I'm going to take 2 breaths here. Exhale for 6. Last exhale. And then we're going to slowly roll the spine all the way up to seated. Bring the hands either side of your knees. Guide your knees back together. And then we'll come down towards the back of the body before we come into a bridge pose. So if you want to have something soft underneath the head, always having a blanket there is quite nice. Make sure the blanket's kind of flat so there's not kind of too much lift in your head. I'm going to bend the legs and bring the soles of the feet on the mat and shuffle the feet a little bit closer towards your bum so that you can tickle your ankles, ideally. A little bit of space in between the thighs. And then hands come down either side of your body, palms facing down. Lifting up into a bridge pose. As we inhale, I'm going to press down through the feet, squeeze the bum, lifting the hips up towards the ceiling, peeling low back, mid back, upper back. And then exhale, slide the spine all the way back down, feeding front ribs to back ribs to get that nice smooth transition down. Take that a couple more times. Inhale, lifting, peeling the back of the body off the mat, rolling onto shoulders, using the strength of your legs to keep the hips lifted. And then exhaling, draping each vertebrae down towards the ground, kind of like a bicycle chain hitting the ground one by one. Take that for one more time. This time we're going to option to hold the bridge pose. So as we lift up, you might choose to stay here. Maybe you shuffle the shoulders together behind the back of the body and you interlace the fingers behind the bum. Sorry, not behind the bum. You're on the hands and the arms stay on the ground, but it's roughly underneath the bum area. Press down through the feet here. Squeeze the thighs together, almost like you have a block in between them. Take an inhale. Exhale here. One more breath in. Exhale. Release the arms, interlace the fingers, slide the spine back down towards the ground. Nice and slow. Low back comes down last. And then we're going to take the feet a little bit wider than the hips and just kind of windscreen wiper the knees from side to side. That might feel quite nice, especially if you're experiencing any low back pain, if you've been sitting on a device or a laptop for a long period of time. Great way to release tension from the low back. Okay. Taking any last little movements that you need, that you want. Maybe you're drawing the knees in towards the chest. Some people like to end with reaching both legs up towards the ceiling for a moment. Maybe a happy baby, you choose. Perhaps you're just staying with that windscreen wiper. That might feel quite nice. And we're going to settle into a shavasana. Let the legs go long. Come towards the back of the body. If you don't feel comfortable on the back, you can always take your shavasana on your side or on your front. Before we come into our shavasana, I'm going to offer a pranayama that you might want to take before resting into your shavasana. So if you're joining me, we're going to take 3 rounds of Viloma Kriya, which is inhaling small sips of air through the nose and then exhaling fully through the nose. Sounds something like this. Inhale small sips of air. And then exhale fully through the nose. If you're joining me, let's go. Small sips of air. Until you're full, and then exhale fully. Inhale, small steps up a mountain. And then exhale, catch the smooth ride down. Last inhale. Exhale fully. Release the breath, allowing yourself to rest and breathe. allowing the breath to deepen. Waking up the body with some gentle movement. You might take a full body stretch and perhaps a yawn. And then we'll draw the knees in towards the chest. Hands on top of the knees or the shins and start to lift the head. So we kind of end in a little bit of a fetal position. Take a breath in. And then as we exhale, gently coming up into any comfortable seated position, however works for you. We'll end with the hands on top of the knees or the thighs, maybe both hands together in the heart space in Namaskar Mudra. Just taking a moment to bow the head down towards your heart and thank you and your body for your practice today. And seeing if you can bring this sense of connection towards the rest of your day and your weekend. Take a breath in through your nose. Exhale, let it go. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. Hope you have a lovely rest of the day, whatever you're doing. And I'm going to end the video.